Did you know that St. Luke's University Health Network, based in the Lehigh Valley, Pennsylvania, has been recognized by the U.S. government as the highest performing health system in the United States for quality? You heard right. St. Luke's #1 recognition affirms our status as the top leader among the most respected healthcare providers in the nation, including Houston Methodist and the Mayo Clinic. To state it simply, if you want to receive the best care when you go to a hospital, come to St. Luke's.
The Dominic Carter Show, entertaining and informative
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
And the number to reach me live this hour, 800-848-9222. Dominic Carter here with you folks. And I have a hard rule in life, and that is to never, and I mean never, give up. To never give up. It could be the bottom of the ninth inning, down to my last swing, my last strike, and I'm up against the best pitcher in baseball, throwing nothing but heat, 100-mile-an-hour fastball, and a changeup that is phenomenal. So in other words, you don't know if he's throwing 100 miles at you or if it's going to come in at 20 miles an hour, which is almost impossible to hit. And that's in dedication to our Vice President Chris Libertini, who's a baseball player. So that one goes out to you, Chris. But never to give up. But sometimes in life, folks, as of late, it's best to pick up your marbles and go home. Sometimes. What are you talking about, Dominic? I'm talking about New York's socialist mayor. Look at the way Mamdani has governed the city of New York, America's largest city. And folks throughout the country, on stations throughout the country, pay attention. A socialist is near you planning to do the same thing. London tried to warn New York. I'm trying to warn you. Look at it this way, Mamdani. Look at it this way. Always look for the silver lining in life, folks, no matter what. So, Mamdani, look at it this way. Good or bad, you're a household name, but you suck at being mayor. I put it in language that everyone can understand. Well, Dominic, again, what are you talking about? Jeff Bezos of Amazon is torching Mamdani, if you will, over $43 billion. That's with a B, not with an M. $43 billion poured into mismanaged New York City schools. Jeff Bezos claiming Amazon would be a disaster if run the same way. 800-848-9222. I am coming back to education in a second. And that's one of the questions I have for you. Folks, why is it just not working? Why is it just not working in the public school systems throughout the country? We see the kids on social media every day wilding, acting a fool. But in the classroom, educators throwing away their careers because they can't take it anymore. And one of these monsters put their hands on the educator. The educator responds in kind and they lose their careers. Along that line, I could not do the job of law enforcement these days throughout the country, in particular in the big urban areas, Philly, Chicago, Denver, New York. How police officers are disrespected. Every fool with a cell phone in urban America thinks that they're Geraldo Rivera. Geraldo Rivera back in the day made his credentials by exposing Willowbrook, a facility for the disabled, and he went in and found out all the horror stories. Willowbrook. Every fool these days in urban America with a cell phone thinks that they are Geraldo Rivera. They really do. Interfering in police operations, police trying to deal with someone where they may have to be physical with, the person's being belligerent to them. And up walks Urban Geraldo Rivera trying to interfere. And also, let's be honest, looking for a lawsuit, hoping that you're going to harass them so they can file a complaint with the Civilian Complaint Review Board, a biased agency against police officers, and then they can file a lawsuit. You, too, can get a settlement from your city of at least a few $1,000s, right? Because the cases are settled. I just want you, if you're laying in bed, if you're up at work, if you're having a cup of coffee, whatever you may be doing, I want you to listen to this exchange in New York City. It's a female police officer and a wannabe Urban America Geraldo Rivera, the Journalist of the Year. Listen to how belligerent people are in urban America against law enforcement. Listen to this, folks.
Try me. Exactly. You're walking right.
She's definitely gonna. Don't tell me what to do. I'm walking the sidewalk. What's your badge and your number? What's your badge and your number? What's your name and your badge number?
Back up.
What's your name and your badge number? What's your name and your badge number? What's your name and your badge number?
Back up.
What you tell the judge that?
Yes, I'm gonna tell the judge that.
Your name and your badge number.
Back up.
I don't have to back up. I'm on the sidewalk.
No, you're not.
Yes.
You're in my face.
No, I'm not. You're in my face. You was over there. You touching me.
You're one arm.
You're gonna lose your job. You know that, right?
Yes, that's fine. Go ahead.
What's your badge and your number?
Lopez 16899. Congratulations.
Tell me I can't read, right? You won't tell the judge that. I don't have to go nowhere. I'm on the sidewalk. I'm on the side. I'm walking through this. I'm walking back and forth. I'm walking back and forth. I already know you got allegations for abuse of power. I can check your records right now. Please.
So there you go. Every fool in urban America thinks they're Geraldo Rivera, male or female. I can check your record, please. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it, folks. I couldn't do it. The restraint that law enforcement has to show each and every day. We see all your telephone calls coming in right now. We're about to begin with them momentarily. But, out in Los Angeles, right around the corner, June 2nd, is the primary for mayor. And independent candidate and political outsider Spencer Pratt, this guy is surging, right? An Emerson College poll shows him with 22% of the vote, a 12-point jump since March, and he's barely trailing the incompetent mayor. I didn't say incumbent. I said incompetent mayor, Karen Bass, who sits at 30%. And President Trump was asked about Spencer Pratt, praising him, but not so much Los Angeles.
True, Spencer Pratt, do you see yourself in him at all? A former reality TV star?
No, I'd like to see him do well. He's a character. I don't know him. I assume he probably supports me. Does he support me?
So?
I hope so, yeah. I heard he does. I heard he's a big MAGA person. He's doing well. I don't know. You have a rigged vote out there. That's the problem. The votes are rigged. You have a really rigged vote in California. You have all the mail-in ballots, everything else. Very hard to win because the elections are very dishonest. If we had Jesus Christ come down and count the votes, I would have won California because I do great with Hispanics. But it's a rigged vote. They send out 38 million votes. Nobody knows where they're going. Of course, the Democrats do, I guess. But disproportionately, Democrats get many more votes. Some get 8 votes. They get 8 cards. And Republicans have to call in, where's my card? It's a rigged system. One of the most, not the worst, I'll give you a list. Maybe I'll do my list. But California's one of the most dishonest states for voting.
President Trump talking about California, and a surging independent candidate, Spencer Pratt, behind the current incompetent mayor, Karen Bass. I know you remember her. The fires, and she's in Africa on behalf of the Biden administration, and there was no water for the firefighters to fight the fires. Years later, people are still, their homes haven't been rebuilt, and it's red tape one step after another. So we're going to get to Jeff Bezos and what he has to say about the education system. Who knows? I may be broadcasting soon from Florida, because the owner of this network, you're going to hear him as well, John Catsimatidis of the Red Apple Audio Networks, says he's moving more and more of his operation to Florida. Even Mr. Catsimatidis and Mrs. Catsimatidis that love Nueva York, they are considering pulling their operation out. So I may be broadcasting soon. I'm being sarcastic, but who knows, from sunny Florida. Let's begin with line 3. Yetta, a retired school teacher. Good morning, Yetta. How are you?
I'm fine, Dominic. Thank you so much. And I'm going to respond to your question of why the schools are not working. I've tried to tell this to you before, but I don't know. Sometimes I feel nobody listens. And
it's not going to work this time. I'll listen for a few seconds, but it's not going to work.
They spend $44,000 on each child. I don't care if they spent $100,000. It will not work until they change the way instruction is provided in the classroom in terms of reading. They don't teach phonics anymore, so the children can't sound out the words. They don't use the basal reader.
And what about the fact that they act like animals?
Then you need teachers. They wouldn't act that way if they had a strong teacher in the classroom who could handle a class, and they were sitting in quiet classrooms in rows.
Yetta. The NYPD can't handle these little animals, and you're telling me a teacher's going to be able to do
them. I handled my students, and I taught in Hell's Kitchen. I don't care. I had disruptive children, children without fathers in the home, children on public assistance, and I had them seated in rows in quiet classrooms, and I provided teacher-directed lessons at the chalkboard, and my students read on level because I was a strict teacher who could handle a class, and I took no nonsense. So that's why, okay?
Okay, but wait, now, Yetta, you know I love you, and you know I think that you're a great teacher, right? You're retired now. But you said you were able to control these kids.
Yes, I could.
How old were they, 4?
No, they weren't 4. I taught 6th grade. They were 11 and 12.
I'm only joking, Yetta. Don't be so serious.
Because the topic gets me angry.
You really think this can be turned around?
I absolutely think it could be turned around if they change the learning model in the classroom. Why did the last year that I was teaching, the principal come in and tell me that the classroom was too quiet? She wanted more productive noise. They have all these buzzwords: productive noise, teacher-directed lessons. The teacher is the facilitator. They sit in groups. They don't sit in rows. They don't even have textbooks anymore. So that's the problem. And until that changes, they're not going to be reading on level, and I maintain that's the reason why. So
fair enough, Yetta. The reason why I have nothing but love for you, because it's teachers like you that saved my life when I had absolutely nothing. Thank you very much for your telephone call. Folks, I got to take a break. When we come back, we're going to deal with Jeff Bezos, Amazon, what he has to say about the education system, what he has to say about Mamdani. We are coming right back.
The Dominic Carter Show, entertaining and informative.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
We see all of your telephone calls. Some of you want to back up Yetta on the education system. Other of you want to talk about it. We'll get to that momentarily. Who's also talking about the education system? Jeff Bezos. Know who that is? Mr. Amazon himself. Jeff Bezos appearing on CNBC declaring the 43B with a billion, B for billion, into mismanaged New York City schools, claiming that Amazon would be a disaster if it was run the same way that now Mamdani is running the New York school system.
Good example, the New York City school system, right? They spend $44,000 per student. $44,000. That's 30% more per student than other big cities like Chicago, LA, and Boston. And it's 3 times more than Miami and Houston. And by the way, New York City doesn't get better outcomes. So what this? Listen, let me just say, if we ran Amazon the way New York City runs their school system, right, your packages would take 6 weeks to arrive. We'd have to charge you a $100 delivery fee, and then when the package did finally arrive, it'd have the wrong item in it anyway. Right.
So there you go from Jeff Bezos himself. Let's go to line 2, Ed in Evansville. Ed, what's on your mind?
Hey, I wanted to back up Yetta. Being a middle school teacher is really rough. In local parente, you're in place of the parents, and structure at all costs at that age must be given, and it must be paramount. Now, discipline, babies having babies do not impart wisdom to their kids, and it's rough. And I don't know what Bezos is going to do. We need to go back to textbooks. We need to go back to structure, foundations, No Child Left Behind. It was a total mess. Promotion and all this. The kids have to learn the fundamentals. Phonics.
Okay, so Ed, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. So let's spend, for argument's sake, let's spend $100 billion on brand new, nice textbooks, right? For all the kids. That's going to keep these young wild animals from acting a fool, fighting with each other?
No, they need to know love, and they need to know a little bit of discipline, and that comes with it. And this lady, Yetta, I'm sure she gave it up. She really did.
I joke around a lot, but you can look at Yetta. She was around back in the day. I'm not joking when I say, Ed, I'm going to let you finish. The teachers like her saved my life because she came into the hood. There's no joke about it. She came into the hood and taught black and brown kids that look like me and got results. Go ahead, Ed.
I wasn't going to impart on this, but I had to crawl through a closet in the Bronx and get a set of textbooks that three classrooms shared, biology texts, and there was nothing for budgeted in, and I don't know how old the texts were, but we enjoyed them. The kids enjoyed them. They came back into the classroom because I didn't know where they would go, what kind of homes they went to, but the kids enjoyed it. But like I said, back in the day, you also need the computers. Hochul, whatever her name is.
Right, Hochul, the one that says the black kids in the Bronx don't know what a computer is.
That's ridiculous. I'm enraged when I hear stuff like that, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Ed. I've got to take a break, folks. 800, we see your calls, 8489222. We are going to take a break. I'm coming right back. We'll have more of your calls. Stay with us.
The Dominic Carter Show, entertaining and informative.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
And we see all of your telephone calls. We're going to get to them. I started out the program this morning by stating my hard rule in life is to never give up. But I want to pause for a second before I get to the owner of this network who appeared, on Fox News. I think it was Fox. Mr. Catsimatidis. We'll get to that in just a second. But I want to talk about something personal for a second. I want you folks to indulge me when I say never give up, right? So perhaps I shouldn't talk about this, but I feel that you folks are family. And when I say never give up, I mean never, ever, ever give up. And our owner, station owner, he was appearing on the Fox Business Channel. We'll get to that in just a moment, right? In which he says that he's even considering and is in the process of moving part of his operation to Florida because of what's going on in New York. So I've talked about my childhood and the women in my life that raised me without a father. And so now I lost my grandmother my first semester of college. I wanted to quit college, but in her memory, I couldn't. It was I'm embarrassed by this now. It was, if you quit college, you go do what all the other boys in the neighborhood did, and you sell drugs. I'm embarrassed to admit that right now. But those were my options. And for a second, I considered it. I really did. And I've said this before. I was going to be good at something in life. There's no denying that. So I would have been very good at doing that until the great men and women of law enforcement and their undercover operations would have caught up to me, and I would have been in one of those cages, just like my friends, former friends, for 15, 20 years. And so the only family I have left in terms of the women that raised me happen to be my aunt. She had a horrible surgery about a year ago. She's had 5 or 6 since then. She's in a nursing home, and boy, was today a rough day. Technically yesterday. Dementia, I've never dealt with this before, but it's been brought on by her surgeries. And she came close to losing her life. She's in a nursing home. And so, at 9 a.m., most people are at work, but I don't get home until 2 a.m., not sleep until 4, sometimes 5, sometimes 6. And so at 9 a.m., I'm asleep, generally speaking. And then I wake up and I start getting ready for the 3 p.m. show. So my phone rings at 9 a.m. and it's my aunt. And she's like a mother figure for me. And the dementia is in full force. I'm not going to embarrass her and talk about the things that she was saying. And I tried to calm her down, and I tried to talk to her. And then she started lashing out at me and, saying horrible things. And okay, so we end the call. So then she calls me again. Same thing. Then I'm on the air, 3 p.m. live today, and she calls in the middle of the show. And obviously I can't answer because what I'm doing right now, broadcasting, is what I was doing at that point. Then she texts me something horrible. Then she calls me 2 more times. So it's been a rough day. It's been a rough day. I'm not going to lie to you folks. But again, the point is that never give up. But I've never dealt with dementia and a loved one in a nursing home before. And it's rough. Okay, so that's my personal experience of the day. Let's get back to business. And that is Mamdani, New York City, socialist mayor, not working. The owner of this network, the Red Apple Audio Networks, John Catsimatidis, appearing on Fox Business News, I believe yesterday, certainly earlier this week. And Mr. Catsimatidis, him and his wife, Margot Catsimatidis, when I say native New Yorkers, that's them, right? And there's now the possibility. In fact, he says that he's already moving some of his business to Florida. Why? Because of Mamdani.
As any CEO of a large company in New York City, the first thing you think about is your company. And the thing that I think about is reducing exposure. Because if this is what New York is in there for the next 3-4 years, reducing exposure in New York, and that's what we're doing. We're concentrating on Florida right now. We're moving a lot of assets there, and we love New York. We all love New York, so we're not going to say we abandon New York.
Yeah.
But reducing exposure for any CEO is the smart thing to do.
Well, I think it was really smart of Jamie to meet with Mamdani, because let's not forget, Jamie just built 270 Park Avenue, right? This is the Midtown Manhattan building that cost between $3 and $4 billion. And even though Jamie put all that money into this new building, and it's apparently gorgeous, okay, a lot of people telling me how wonderful it is. But even though he put that big building, he's got more employees in Dallas, Texas than he does in New York City.
Absolutely. And we're gonna go that direction too. At one point last year, we were looking at, before the New Jersey elections, we were looking at increasing our exposure in New Jersey. But we're being careful of that right now. We are going to move some assets to New Jersey, but majority majority is moving assets to Florida.
Well, look, we talk about this all the time, sort of in a 30,000 feet way. I mean, when you get down to the bottom line, what does it mean to a guy like you, a business like yours, in terms of all these taxes and Mamdani's threatening, billionaires tax and an exit tax and potentially raising property taxes? What's the cost on the bottom line, do you think? I mean, when you start studying this stuff, what can you actually eliminate if you get out of Dodge?
Well, first of all, I'm over 75, and the taxes on state taxes.
The Mets, the Democrats.
Off. I mean, at one point, I'd rather have my family and my kids and.
So that's moving under Mamdani.
Hello. And the property tax increases that he's talking about.
Yes, and the other taxes is I think it limits. It limits the amount of investments that come into.
So there you have it. You're listening to Mr. Catsimatidis. We apologize for the error with that soundbite, the background noise that you were hearing there. But 800-848-9222. We see all your calls. On a moment, I'm going to go to Jean in Mount Vernon. She wants to talk about something that had me worked up earlier. And on my social media, the posts are exploding and about Mamdani. And he had an event for the Jewish community at Gracie Mansion, where the mayor lives in New York City, on Monday. And for the first time ever, there were barricades blocking people from getting to the mayor. I've never seen this in 40 years. And so it's not a good look, Mamdani, when you're under fire for the Jewish community and there are barriers blocking people from getting to you at the mayor's official residence. But let's go back to Jeff Bezos first. Bezos sitting down with MSNBC. Here's what he had to say about Mamdani and socialists and talking real talk.
I don't pay taxes. So true. I pay billions of dollars in taxes. And it's a perfect, again, if people want me to pay more billions, right, then let's have that debate. But don't pretend, that that's going to solve the problem. You could double the taxes I pay, and it's not going to help that teacher in Queens. I promise you. So you can't connect those two things, not logically. There are more examples. Why is rent expensive? Why is rent so expensive? I recently saw somebody blamed it on Airbnb. Okay, Airbnb is not the cause of expensive rent. In fact, it's been almost, let me finish here 1 sec. It's already been outlawed in New York City, and rents are still very high. So we know Airbnb isn't causing high rents. What's really causing high rent is government intervention.
And that is correct. Let's go to Jean, line 1, Mount Vernon, New York. Good morning, Jean.
Yeah. Hi, Dominic. You've had quite a day. But I was listening this afternoon to your program, and you were talking about that barrier in front of Gracie Mansion. And you also
wait. But Gene, wait. Let me just make this clear. It wasn't in front of the mansion. It was in the mayor's residence, in the room where he was speaking. They had set up barricades so that you couldn't get near him. But this is the same mayor that when he had Muslims near him, there were no barricades. So he's cold busted.
Okay, I gotcha. I understand regarding that now. Okay, they were right. The barriers were right in where he was. Okay. With regard to the Ramadan service that he was having in the City Hall, in the Blue Room. Okay.
I'm listening, Gina. Go ahead.
Yeah, okay. I recall hearing about that particular event where he had a number of people in that Blue Room and the prayer rugs, and he was serving food, finger food, for this Ramadan program.
Yes. No ropes there. No ropes there. No barricades there.
I have actually been through that Blue Room at City Hall when Mayor Koch was in office.
Okay, so Gene, we got to move this on because I got a lot of calls. What's the point you're trying to make?
Well, I want to say that this current mayor to have had a public event for himself like that in the Blue Room of City Hall doesn't seem to me to make much sense.
Of course, there's not much sense. Thank you for the call, Gene. It's reckless. It's, and the Blue Room, this is where the news conferences are held. And he held a Muslim prayer session in the room. No barricades for his people, but for Jews, there were barricades blocking people off from getting to him. It's utterly disgusting. I'm trying to figure out on my social media, the numbers are exploding in terms of the thousands of videos that the social media team posted of me just telling the truth that I'm sorry, folks, and this is not about being Islamophobic or anything like that. I don't get it. I don't understand why you're tolerating it. Fine. You come to America, cool. You want to open a mosque, cool. Have your prayer inside the mosque. You don't have the right to inconvenience everybody else with that loud prayer call that sounds eerie and scares everybody to death. Who says you have a right to come to America and do that? I can't go to your country and do that, so why should you be allowed to do it here? We have become too tolerant. It really is that simple. Let's go to Fran, line 4, Long Island, on the education system. Fran, what's on your mind?
Dom, can you come right back to me because I got an issue here?
Okay, no, okay, you can hold on, Fran. I'll try and get back to you. I appreciate your honesty there. We all got to go sometimes, and sometimes there are issues. Let's go to Charlie, line 2, Westchester. Charlie, what's on your mind?
Hey, Dominic, thanks for taking my call. I just wanted to make a comment on the teacher who just called earlier.
You don't have to set it up. Just go ahead and make your comment. Okay. I'm short on time.
Gotcha. I disagreed, and also their teaching model.
Wait, you said you disagree? I didn't hear you.
I agree with her comment. And,
you agree with what comment, Charlie?
The teacher that called earlier.
With Yetta, so you agree with Yetta. Okay, go ahead.
I agree with Yetta, and the kids are different today, so are the parents. But also, my main point is the teachers have their handcuffs. Just like police officers, they got their handcuffs. They have to do what they're told, and their teaching model is not working. They're actually also putting 2 teachers in a room, confusing the kids of who's in charge. They're also enabling bad behavior, and that's not on the teachers. And totally from the Department of Education. I have friends who are retired and presently family members that are teachers. And I feel bad for them because they get observed a couple of times a month and they have to be told what to do. And they have the money on the line, their pensions and everything. So that's my comment. Plain and simple.
Fair enough, Charlie. Thank you for the comment. Folks, you don't have to set up with the volume of calls that I get. I don't have time for you to set up what you want to talk about and then talk to it because it's eating away the clock. I've got to take a break. We are coming right back.
The Dominic Carter Show. Entertaining and informative.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
And to line 1 we go. Joe in Ozone Park. Joe, good morning. What's on your mind?
Hey, Dominic, I just want to tell you, you got a great show. I wholeheartedly agree with what you're saying about Mamdani, and I don't live too far from Richmond Hill, and they blast the call of prayer 2-3 times a day, disturbing everybody else. Everybody can't stand it, but they get special treatment. It's just not right.
Okay, so wait a minute now. So, Joe, with technology, you have cell phones that are computers in your pocket, right? So why can't they contact people that are attending the mosque that way?
100% agree. I mean, if they wouldn't like it if we blast the church bells 14 times a day. It's just very annoying, and the speakers are gigantic. And it's just really an inconvenience to everybody who lives in the area.
Yeah, I don't get it. And I'm a straight shooter, Joe. So, and again, I try to have the sensitivities of every community and so on, but those prayer calls sound eerie. And I mean, And people are. Say that again, Joe.
Islamic centers, they're building them all over the place in every state, everywhere they're popping up. They're gigantic, and it just to me it doesn't seem like it's in regards to the amount of population. It seems like there's an outside entity that's funding all these Islamic centers. They're down south where there's very few Muslims. They're popping up all over the place, gigantic centers, and they're very close to the roadway. And there's something else is going on for funding these.
Yeah, I hear you, Joe. Thank you for the telephone call. Let's go to Tom, line 5, New Jersey. Good morning, Tom. What's on your mind?
All right, 2 points. The quickest.
You got about
one
a
is
minute left, so I don't know if you're going to be able to get 2 points in, but go ahead.
Okay, I'll get to the educational one. I'm 62. I went to the New Jersey special educational system. They could not teach me how to learn to read and write and reading comprehension, but I got lucky with a family member that was able to teach me that early on, and it was such a major gift.
Okay, all right. Okay, so what's your point, Tom? What are you trying to tell me?
The point is that the special educational system, way back when I was born in 1964, they couldn't teach me how to read, write, and do reading comprehension. But a family member was able to do that for me.
That's a blessing. You know what? I'm always watching the clock so much. We have so many calls here. You can quickly make your second point. I don't know what it's about, but go ahead.
All right. You said that you don't understand what's going on. I'm telling you what's going on. Mamdani is trying to take over New York, and it's going all over the country. That's what he's doing. He's trying to take over. He's doing what he wants. He has zero
accountability.
What's the word I'm looking for?
Accountability.
Yeah, that's not the word, but okay. Yeah, for anybody else, it's like it's all for him and his kind. And I'm telling you, New York City is in deep doo-doo. I'm telling you right now, man.
So you don't see any lifeline out there or nothing?
Not right now. Hopefully it doesn't keep going in this direction. If it keeps going in this direction, there's going to be deep trouble everywhere.
Right.
And it seems like that there already is.
Tom, thank you for that call. All I can tell you, folks, is in New York City next week, there is a protest outside the mayor's residence over these issues. He's just not friendly to the Jewish community. I mean, but you know what? We have a socialist mayor, and America, you have a socialist coming to your city, to your town, to your municipality, to your county government. So look out and learn from the mistakes that New York City made. Learn from the mistakes that London made. This is a mess. So always remember, tomorrow's a new day. So for me too, tomorrow's going to be today. It's going to be a better day. And this is not Little Annie. And I'll see you back at 3 p.m. Eastern.
Thanks for listening to The Dominic Carter Show. You can hear The Dominic Carter Show weekdays at 3 p.m. and Monday through Thursday at midnight and Sunday starting at 11 p.m. on 77 WABC. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here?